Welcome back to Ginosco, your resident theology channel. I'm so glad you have joined us today as we even grow into more knowledge with God. So today we are studying on episode 1 or topic 1, which is why study theology. It is part of our introductory module, and I believe it is going to change your life. So let's dive in. So the first thing I want you to understand is the word theology means the study of God. It is derived from two words, which are theos, meaning God, and logos, which means the study of. So when you bring them together, it means the study of God. I also want you to understand that theology in itself, in its nature, is for every believer. For far too long, we as Christians have been believing that theology is only meant for certain people or certain minds, preferably those in ministry, the pastors, the bishops. But I am here to tell you that theology is something for all believers, because at the end of the day, it is a way of growing your knowledge with God, even as we'll discuss further on. So I want you to sit down and reflect and ask yourself one question. Are you practicing good theology or bad theology? Ladies and gentlemen, and all the viewers and listeners, yes, there is good theology and bad theology. We'll cover it sometime later in our module. I will talk about heresies that are in the Christian faith that is bad theology and good theology. The reason this is a very important question is because what you believe about God shapes your life. What you believe about God shapes your life. I'll give you an example. For example, if we believe something like microwaves cause cancer, it will mean that whenever we are using microwaves, we'll be very cautious because we are scared of cancer. Or if we believe that this road can lead to something good or something bad, it will shape how we will use that road. Similarly, what you believe about God will shape your life. For example, if you believe that God is distant or God is far or God needs you to act in a certain way in order to reach Him, then it will shape how you live your life. If you believe He is distant, you will live in fear. If you believe He is far from you, you will live in fear. But if you believe that He is loving and just, you will live in trust and obedience. And this trust and obedience will come intrinsically, not extrinsically. It will come from a point where you are trusting and obeying because it is something that you know. So, ladies and gentlemen, listeners and viewers, are you practicing good or bad theology? Let me know your answer in the comments below. The Bible says in Hosea chapter 4 verse 6 that my people perish because of lack of knowledge. It does not say we perish because of lack of anything else, but we perish because of lack of knowledge. So if you're living under bad theology, it is your lack of knowledge of God that will cause you to perish. Are we together? Right, so let's dive into the main part of today's episode, which is the benefits of studying theology. So number one, through theology, we get to grow closer into God. We get to grow closer into God. For example, if you are, say, let me use this example. If you are dating someone and you knew things about that person in a relationship, it would mean that you'd have grown closer to the point where these things are revealed to you. Am I right? Yes, I'm right. So, learning about Him opens your eyes to who He actually is. That is why the Bible reveals who God is to us, because we can see His nature from the beginning to the very end. And that is basically what Ginosko is all about. That is basically what knowledge is all about. Knowledge is going to teach us how to relate with God. That is number one. Philippians chapter 3 verse 10 says that I may know you and the power of your resurrection. That was Paul speaking. Paul was one of the most extraordinary evangelists to this day. But even after writing all the books, his goal was clear, that he may know God. So if Paul's goal was that, how much more we who are believing in what we are believing. Number two, theology makes you stable in the faith. It grows your stability in the faith. 2 Timothy chapter 2 verse 15 says, you should study to show yourself approved. Through theology, we get to discern from error, thereby strengthening our faith. We get to know what causes error and what isn't error. As I've said, moving on, we'll talk about bad and good theology, heresies in the Christian faith. And once you know these heresies, it will be easier for you to evade them and not listen to them. And this will make sure that our lives, our Christian walks of faith, are strong and are rooted in Him. Number 3, theology fuels your worship. Theology fuels your worship. Worship becomes more intentional when we know who we are worshiping. You can't worship a God you don't know, which is why most worship ministers, they first of all know God for themselves, and then they reveal what they know God as to us. So once you have studied theology and once you know all these things, it becomes easier for your worship to come from a point of honesty. It makes your worship more intentional, because this time you're worshiping not because of anything, but because of a revelation. And yes, so those are only but a few reasons why you should study theology. There are more, like it is beneficial in a way that you get a theological degree and you are able to maneuver a few things with it. We can also say it is a career subject, just like in high school, where you get to be a lecturer of theology because you have studied it. So basically, throughout this episode, we have discussed the meaning of theology, which is that it is the study of God. We have asked ourselves if we are practicing good and bad theology and why that question is important. And we have gone through the importance of theology, which is it helps us to grow closer to Him, it makes us stable in the faith, and it fuels our worship. So thank you so much. That has been the episode for today. But I have something else to tell you. I have to tell you that we also study theology because it is the greatest pursuit of all. As I've told you about Paul, this is the greatest pursuit of every individual, to grow closer in the knowledge of God. Knowing Him is more than just information, it is transformation. The more you know Him, the more you are transformed. So that has been today's episode. I hope it has entirely blessed you. And if it has, do good by sharing it to your family, to your friends, to your neighbors, even your pastors. And God bless you so much. Thank you once again. You can like the video if you're on YouTube. You can subscribe. You can leave a comment on Spotify. You can rate us as well. And you can follow our show on Spotify and follow us on all social media platforms at G_Inosco. At G_Inosco. We are on Facebook. We are on Instagram. We are on TikTok. We are on Spotify. We are on YouTube. And we also have our WhatsApp channel. So thank you all. During the next class, we are going to be discussing the types of theology and we are going to break them down. It is not a class that you would want to miss. God bless you. God bless you.